Good morning, everybody, from Boone High School, Dr. Phillips High School, East River, Edgewater, and our other guests, teachers, faculty from Orange County Public Schools and our school districts. We thank you so much for joining us this morning for our Nautique Boat Company virtual plant tour. We're really excited to share this amazing manufacturing facility with you today. I'm Christian Davidson. I am from the Manufacturers Association of Central Florida, and we work together with OCPS and our other school districts to bring you these great Manufacturing Month facility tours to showcase all the great manufacturing career opportunities there are. A few things that I want to talk about first before we get started is we have a Q&A box that you'll see on your screen. Please feel free to enter any questions that you have throughout the presentation into that Q&A box. We're going to hold all questions till the end, but as you think of them, go ahead and type those questions in. We don't want you to forget the questions. So throughout the entire presentation, if you think of something, go ahead and type that into the Q&A box, and we will get to those questions at the end. Also, we're going to show a couple videos to you. When those videos play, you'll want to hover your mouse over the bottom of that video. There's a speaker icon in the bottom left-hand corner. Make sure that speaker icon is turned on so you'll get the volume. You'll have to turn that volume on. So make sure your speakers are on, your volume is up. And again, when the video plays, if you don't hear volume, you'll just hover your mouse over the bottom of that video and make sure to click that speaker icon, and you'll be able to hear the sound. Our presenter today from Nautique Boat Company is Chris Hanagoski. Chris is the Vice President of Operations, and he has very graciously agreed to take you on a virtual tour of his facility and also answer any questions that you might have about careers at Nautique. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Christian, and welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to be able to present today to you guys. Obviously, this is a completely different manufacturing day than we're used to, and hopefully in the future we can resume the in-person tours and manufacturing day. But overall, we're excited to be able to present to you today and share as much as we can and answer as many questions as we can as it pertains to manufacturing and the careers in manufacturing. As Christian said, I'm open to answer as many questions as we can get to, and if you guys can type those in the box, and we'll address those at the end. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I got a lot to cover here, and I want to make sure we leave time for questions. So Nautique Boat Company, how many of you guys, and I know you can't answer and raise your hands because I normally ask this question when I have students in front of me, how many of you guys knew we existed or know that we're here in the Central Florida area and the fact that we've been here since 1925? And I want you guys, if you have any students in the group that were there, I'd like to know just kind of what that is, that percentage. But overall, we're going to start, and if you can flip to the next slide, Amanda. I'm going to start with our identity pyramid, and this would be something that if you guys walked into our lobby or any of our training rooms, you would see. And this is kind of what sets us apart from a lot of other manufacturers. As I mentioned, we've been around since 1925, and we are a faith-based company. Our original founders were in the Edgewater area, and part of their original goal was and saying was building boats to the glory of God. And obviously being a Christian-based company, that's been our pinnacle. Today we use the Nautique Cares as probably our more prominent outward-facing message. And we look at three things as a company that I really want to stress to you guys, and it's the people and the performance and the philanthropy. Those are the three P's that we talk about religiously, and they're three things that really are the foundation. And you can see the different aspects underneath there, which we'll get into a little bit as we go through the presentation. But I just want to make sure you guys saw that. I think it's a very important thing, and we get compliments on that from anybody who enters our building, whether they are on a tour, whether they are a future employee or a customer. So just kind of wanted to make sure we set that foundation. If we can go to the next slide. So the Nautique Boat Company, we've been around, as I mentioned, since 1925, and we're headquartered here in Orlando, Florida. We build premium towed water sports boats. So the picture you can see on your screen right there is one of our premium product. It is our Paragon, a boat that we launched last year around this time, and it is the premier product in the marketplace for towed water sports, particularly in the wake surf and the wakeboard industry. We built 11 different models here in Orlando, and we also build about 2,650 boats a year. We've averaged that for the last few years, and we continue to increase that each year. We export to about 70 plus countries around the world. So everything from South America, Australia, the Far East, the Middle East, Europe, Canada, we 70 different countries around the world from this location here. And we're just in case I didn't mention this already, we're located just east of the airport off the beach line. We're about 10 miles down the road in a very secluded area. And I'll get to that. You'll see a picture here in a minute. But before we get too far into our operation, I just kind of want to give you guys a preview of what actually we built. So if we can go to the next slide, we have a video that coming up of what we make. And if you guys want to hit your screen so you can hear the video, we're going to play that now. All righty. What did everybody think of that? I know you guys can't answer, but hopefully you guys thought that was pretty cool stuff, and that it's made right here in our factory here in Orlando, Florida. Before I go any further, can everybody hear me okay? I want to make sure. I had a comment come up on the box that there was some students that were having trouble hearing me, and want to make sure that our microphone's working okay. Christian, can you confirm with the students? Okay.
Yeah, Chris, it sounds like it's coming through good now. So we should be good to go.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. So operation-wise, we want to get into what do we do here manufacturing-wise. And obviously we build product here, and we build a lot of cool stuff. But I want to kind of give you guys an overview of where we're at and what we do. So you can see the picture on the screen right there in my presentation. That is an overhead view of our factory. If you look at the north side of the facility, you see two lakes. And as you come into our factory, as you you'd see two lakes on either side. One is our product design and development test lake, and the other one is our production lake. South of that, you'll see our factory. We've got about 260,000 square feet, and it's the headquarters for everything. So we do everything from product design and development, engineering, prototyping, production, sales, marketing, finance, human resources. Everything that is involved in our company is done here in this factory. We have about 593 employees currently, and that includes all of our production employees and all the staff that supports them. We are in linear manufacturing. So what does that mean? So all of our products starts at one end of the building and flows to the other end of the building where it finishes. And that gives us an advantage in our ability to move production down a production line, and our employees are stationed in their area. That allows us then to be more efficient and produce product in a much more simplified manner. We operate under 2 shifts. So our operations we have daytime and nighttime. Our morning shift starts at 5:30 and it ends at 4 p.m. Our second shift starts at 4 p.m. and goes to 2:30. We are set up on a 4-10 workday. So what does that mean? We work Monday through Thursday, and Friday basically is an off day for most employees, unless we're building additional production or we're behind. We build about 7 boats. It takes about 7 days to build a boat from start to finish. So we start, and I know I can't explain it to you guys like we would if we were on a tour, but you'll see that in a few minutes when we go through a virtual tour. We start the boat in a mold and we spray the gel coat, which is the color you see in the videos and when you look at boats. And then we continue to progress that down the production line. And it takes about 7 days for that boat to come off. Currently, we're building 7 boats a day. And I know that was one of the questions that I saw pop up. We build, 13 boats a day right now. And that was one of the questions that came up. So to give you guys an example, we build 52 boats a week right now. That's our current production rate. So between 593 employees, all of our product, all of our supply chain, our 2 shifts, we are building 13 finished product a day right now. So if we go to the next slide, I want to talk a little about our strategy, and this is a little bit different from the manufacturing side of things, but it'll give you guys an idea of a little bit more about our company in general. So we're a strategically driven company. So what does that mean? And I'll try to break it down very simply. We want to be a market-driving company. Our focus is to build product that people want to buy. We don't want to copy anybody. We want to be the first to market, and we want other folks to follow us. So if you think about it in terms of like an iPhone, for example, Apple does a very good job at creating a phone that people want. It's not something else that anybody else has had. The first iPhone was the first of its kind. They're innovative, and that's how we are in our segment in the marine industry. What does that do for us? Well, that gives us a competitive advantage between our differentiation in our product, our quality, our technology, our innovation, and our customer care. Those are 4 things that really set us apart. And I know the picture there is kind of hard to see, but you can see our interior of our boat and our helm, and it really sets us apart. The refinement, the quality, what features we offer that a lot of other boat companies don't do in our segment. And I will say that's one of the things that we hear most from our customers is, you guys do things right. You are the premium product in the premium market space, and then you guys do a very good job. So relating that to basically the car industry, we get compared to a Ferrari, Porsche, the very high-end cars a lot, and that's how we separate ourselves from other boat manufacturers in our same segment. The other thing I'll touch on real quick is our value chain. And when you talk about a value chain, what are we good at? What are the things that we do well here at our company? And I would say our product development. Obviously, we create product that people want to buy. They don't need a boat. Nobody needs a boat, but we create something that just people have a passion for. They want to buy it. It's an impulse. They see our product and they want to buy it. That's one thing we're really good at from the product development side. The other thing I'll touch on real quick is manufacturing. We have a pretty unique manufacturing for boat building. Now, it's continued to progress that way in a lot of other boat manufacturers, but we were one of the first to build a boat like a car. And as I mentioned earlier, we have an assembly line. So the boat moves down an assembly line and work gets done to the boat. The operator does the same job for each boat that passes through their station. And again, they work on up 13 boats a day doing the same task. So let's say, for example, they set the engine in the boat. They're doing that 13 times a day. Well, what does that do for them? Well, it makes them very efficient. It also makes them very skilled at that job, and it improves their quality. They're doing the same thing over and over. And as you guys know, if you do a task over and over again, you get better at it. So by operating in the linear manufacturing setting, we're able to teach our employees how to do their job and task correctly, and then they can continue to improve upon it each and every day. And that's one of the things that we'll focus on here in a minute. The other thing that we do very well is our customer care. As you guys know, if you relate it to your phone or something that you guys purchase, you guys want to have a good customer experience. You want to make sure that when you go to use that product, it's able to be used every single time, whether it's your TV, whether it's your computer, whether it's your cell phone. And that's one of the things we do very well. We are very good at taking care of our customer. We have a team dedicated just to answering their questions, troubleshooting their problems, and we take care of our customer, because that's one of the things that keeps them coming back is, are they satisfied with our product and our customer service? So I would say those are 3 unique things about us that I wanted to highlight real quick. If we can move on to the next slide. Something about our culture. As I mentioned at the very beginning, I talked to you guys about the pyramid and how important that is to us. These are some things that we do in the manufacturing segment to basically supplement that and help encourage that. One of the things that we focus on is safety. And when I do a lot of our orientations, and I talk to a lot of our new employees, and I talk to a lot of the students that come here over the years, safety is the utmost important to us. We want to make sure that when you come here as an employee, that you leave here the same way you came. You have a family you want to go home to, you have a life outside of work. We want to make sure you're safe. So we want to make sure that we have all the proper protocols in place. We do what we call a safety program, a WOW safety program, every morning and every day during lunch or after the employees get back from lunch. And what is that? It's basically a warm up. They come in, they do a couple exercises, they loosen up their body, their muscles, and we engage them to get set up for the day. So it helps them prevent injuries. We also have weekly safety meetings where we go over safety topics. So for example, one week we might talk about hearing protection. The next week it might be eye protection. The next week it might be how to properly lift things so you don't hurt your back. So we're very engaged with our employees, making sure that safety is important. Quality. As I mentioned, one of the things that differentiates us is our quality. So quality is extremely important to not only us, but our customer. We have a robust quality system that has checkpoints throughout the entire production process that showcases certain things that we want to make sure are done right and are done to the engineering specifications before they move on to the next station. So we have a quality system tracking all of that for every single boat that passes through here. We also do what we call weekly quality board reviews. So every department rotates on a weekly schedule where they present the quality data that happens in their department. So we can see every week a department's performance, how well they're doing on safety, how well they're doing on the quality of their product. Are their employees continuing to work down those defects that they did the previous week so that we get a better product each and every day? We also talk about our monthly warranty issues. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, our customer service is one of those things that we take pride in. We talk about those things that come back from the field. Our customers have an issue, we bring it up to the team, and that way we can create action items and address those. The other thing I'll talk about is continuous improvement. As I mentioned about our engaged workforce, employees know their job better than anybody else. They do it every single day. They see things that we don't, that they can improve. And we engage them to actively bring those up to their leads and their supervisors and their managers so we can actually improve their work day and also the quality of the product. And we do that through Kaizen events. And that's a Japanese word, but basically what it is a team environment that addresses a problem an employee brought up. We also do a lot of vendor audits and reviews. So our vendors who sell us the products that we need to build our boats, we invite them in. We're very transparent with them. They're allowed to come in, look at our process, and tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. And if we're doing something wrong or we need to improve something, we're open to listen. They give us feedback, and we can actively make our product better by implementing those changes. The other thing that we do very well is problem solving and resolutions. One of the things I strive at my team is ask the 5 whys. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So when a person has an issue or an employee has an issue, we go through those standard questions. And usually through that process, they're able to dive in and ask the right questions to get to the root cause of a problem. So we're not just fixing a symptom, we're actually fixing the problem. And that's what we strive for each and every day. And that kind of is how we engage our workforce so that they're engaged and that they feel part of the process. So if we can go on to the next slide. Nautique Care. So again, talking about the culture, as I mentioned at the very beginning, performance and people and performance are the two things we've talked about so far. But the other thing that was on there was philanthropy. What do we do as a company to give back to our local communities and even more outside the United States? We have an employee program that we engage with the community outreach. So the pictures you see here are different things that we've done service trip wise. The middle one and the bottom one are the two that we've done locally. They're Habitat for Humanity, where we actually go out into the community and we actually are engaged with our local community to help build a house, an apartment. We're involved in different things in the local community when it comes to give kids the world. So it's an organization that helps folks who are terminally ill. We've done hurricane assistance. We've actually sent employees down to Puerto Rico after one of the recent hurricanes to help rebuild houses or help some infrastructure. We've also been involved with service trips to a variety of other countries. We've been to Mexico, we've been to El Salvador, we've been to Haiti, we've been to Jamaica, just to name a few. So that's one of the things that we really are proud of, is the fact that we not only build great product, but we give back to the community and beyond. One of the things I'll touch on, and I skipped over it because I was on the service trip side of things, but employee programs. We also are engaged in making sure our employees continue to improve. And that's one of the things that, when you look at a company, that's one of the things that I think is very much undervalued, is the employee programs. What happens once you get here? Besides just working and earning a paycheck, you also are able to better yourself. We have an education reimbursement program. So let's say you come here to work for us. After you've been here, you want to go back to school. But we have our tuition reimbursement program, which is extremely important. That way you can continue your education and move on in your career. We have a leadership program. So let's say you want to become a leader within our organization. You want to become a lead, a supervisor, a manager, or beyond. We have a leadership program that we've developed with our HR team, human resources. So we're able to then encourage you guys to learn how to become better leaders. We also have what we call the Dave Ramsey course. And what that is a financial peace university. It's one of those classes that teaches you how to balance your budget. How do you guys set yourself up financially so you can retire and have enough money for the long haul? So those are things that we do to help our employees. And those are courses that we offer here right on property. If we can go on to the next slide. I want to talk a little bit about the careers here, because a lot of people think, all we do is build boats, and if you're not working on the production line, what else can you do? And I would say everything on this list is something that is a job function here at Nautique. We do, as I mentioned at the very beginning, product design development. So we do industrial design and CAD work. So if you like to draw on the computer, we have that. We have mechanical and electrical engineers. So if that's something that interests you, or you have a career desire to go into engineering, we have not only mechanical and electrical, but we have industrial and quality engineers. Industrial management, we need people to lead and manage the operations. Quality control, if you have a desire to be in a career where you focus on quality and making product better, we have a team that does that. If you like finance and accounting, we have a whole team here doing that. If you're into computers, information technology, we have to have somebody support all of our email, all of our hard drives, all of our networking. So we have to have that. Marketing, somebody's got to market our product. Human resources, we have to support our team. We have to sell the boat in sales. Customer care, we have to take care of our customers that are out there. And again, those are just some of them. We've got more, and I've listed some on the other side. Not only do we have production positions, but we've got logistics. We have shipping and materials team. So there's a lot of different functions here in addition to just production. So I just want to expand everybody's mind to the different career fields and the different focuses you can have within a manufacturing company. We can go on to the next slide. So currently today, we have 40 plus open positions in production, and those include everything that you see there and probably a few more at this point in time. We sew all of our interior here, so we need people to sew. We need somebody to create those seats and how to build those. So that's what we call an upholsterer. Somebody has to laminate the fiberglass in the product. That's what we call lamination. We have quality inspectors, like I said, that inspect inspect our boats and make sure that they're built correctly. Stockroom, what does a stockroom clerk do? Well, they make sure that all the product that comes in as in raw goods gets put away on shelf. Somebody has to stock those shelves, just like when you go to Publix, there's product there. Somebody puts that there, and we have to do that for our assembly line employees. The gel coat team, they're the ones, as I mentioned, they spray the gel coat into our molds. And then obviously we've got assembly, the people who actually build the product on the assembly line. We also have 15 plus professional openings right now. We have an assembly manager. We need some engineers, HR, purchasing. So there's just a lot of different functions that we have. And that's just today, right now, where we're at. And we continue to expand. Those numbers continue to continue to increase with job opportunities. So if we can go on to the next slide. So I want to talk about what you need to have career-wise or education-wise to work for us. And it's a variety depending on what you want to do. Most of our production employees have a high school diploma, GED, or even some have a college education. So to work on our production line, those are some of the general. You don't necessarily have to have those, but those are what most employees have. One thing that I will say is you must be 18 years of old. So that's something that we just need to make sure if you're interested in working here down the road that you're 18 years or older. So for our professional positions, so like if you wanted to be an engineer, if you want to be in accounting, finance, there are degrees, there are certain programs that you have to have a bachelor's degree for. So something you would go on, move on to college for, and attain a degree. But there are some positions and in professional levels that require just a high school diploma or technical certifications. So what does that mean? So if you were to graduate and you said, hey, I don't want to go to college, but I want to go learn a trade. Maybe you want to become a mechanic. Maybe you want to become an electrician. Maybe you want to become a welder. There are certain technical programs throughout the local community here that you can go and get those certifications and then apply for a position with us. So those are some of our advanced positions that we have here. Some of our local partnerships, as I just mentioned, through the technical certifications, we work with Valencia Community College, Lake Technical College, Orrin Technical College, the Space Coast Chamber, and Manufacturing Association of Central Florida. Those are just some of the organizations that we use and we recruit from, or we partner up with to say, hey, we need employees. Help us find those employees that would potentially be a good fit for us. One of the things that I want to hit on too, and again, it goes back to our people and performance and our philanthropy at the very beginning with our pyramid. We love people who learn and want to be learners. When you come here, we don't want you to stop. There's always something going on in the marketplace or in education that you can continue to learn and challenge yourself to learn new ideas, and there's new ways of doing things. So we want to promote that from within, and we definitely are a culture of learners, not knowers, as we like to say. So if we go on to the next slide. We're going to do a quick tour, so please turn on your sound now. All righty. I know I can't see you guys and I know I can't hear you, but I hope you guys found that incredibly awesome video amazing, and hope that you guys, have a new appreciation for what goes on here at Nautique and here in Central Florida when it comes to manufacturing. That pretty much shows you from beginning to end. I know it's difficult to do it virtually, but basically, you guys saw the boat from the design side all the way to the finished product. And if you ever get a chance, we do tours, obviously outside of this time of COVID, but we definitely are encouraged, locals and people who are interested in our product to come check it out. And it is really a unique process, and I can't stress to you guys enough that it is really a neat process from beginning to end. So with that, our last slide here just has our contact information. Obviously, we got a career link here, and I believe we're going to get this information to you guys, or you guys can go on our website. But definitely, keep us in mind down the road as far as careers and opportunities. We'd love to work with you and answer any questions you guys may have about how to achieve a certain career goal that you might have down the road. So with that pretty much wraps up the factory tour. We're going to move on to questions now. So if you guys have questions, feel free. Christian, I'm going to ask you to help us manage some of that. So let's get started. We got about 20 minutes, I think.
Wow, thank you so much, Chris. That factory tour video was incredible, and that presentation was awesome. Yes, so students, teachers, please go ahead and submit any questions you have for Chris into the Q&A box, and we will be happy to answer any questions you have. And this can be questions about the boat building process, anything that you saw in one of the videos. It can be about career opportunities. Don't be shy. Let's get your questions in.
Christian, maybe while people are thinking up some questions, I can kind of give my background, which will help them understand. One of the things that Nautique does is we want to invest in our people, and so I'll kind of talk a little bit about my background while you guys are thinking up some questions. So I graduated college with a degree in industrial engineering. I did not come to work here right out of college. I actually worked for Pepsi Cola for a while here in Orlando, Florida. And I actually got involved in the product by living here. A friend of mine had a Nautique. I got involved. And as my career progressed, there was an opening, and I actually applied to industrial engineering position here at Nautique, was hired on in May of 2010. Was our first industrial engineer, spent about 2 years in that role before I was given an opportunity to run our upholstery shop. So I was our manager of the upholstery team for about 2 years. During that time period, I was encouraged to continue learning and growing, and I went back to school. So my undergrad in engineering was from Purdue University, and I was encouraged to go back and get my MBA. So I took the opportunity, applied to UCF, and went back in 2012, started my MBA, graduated with my MBA in 2014. Upon graduation, another opportunity came my way. I had a chance to move into our materials and supply chain. So I ran our materials and supply chain organization for about 2 years before becoming the director of operations, where I had to oversee all of our operations, everything from the assembly, quality, maintenance, building and facilities, supply chain, and just progressed along. And Nautique has continued to invest in me. So that just kind of gives you an example of, and there's multiple stories here of employees from the production line that have gone back to school, graduated from college, or have gotten their AA, their BS, their bachelor's, and moved on to bigger and better things. So it definitely is something we believe in. So it looks like we had some questions come in. So
yeah.
Christian,
yeah,
fire away.
Questions. First one, do you guys do custom creations like color, etc.?
So we have, I know we didn't show it in here, but we have probably close to 20 different gel coat colors. We have certain locations on the boat that you can gel coat. So if you actually go on our website, nautique.com, you can go to a link on there called Build a Boat. and you guys can actually build our boats out with different color options. And basically, we have a set number of colors in a certain location, but you can create anything that you want in those different areas. So if you want a red boat, you can do red, white, and blue. You can do red, black, and gray. You can do any different color combination. If you want something specific that we don't offer, that's not something we typically do. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, all of our colors are tested through environmental testing. We want to make sure that they don't fade. We want to make sure that the color will match our vinyl. So there's certain criteria that we set just so that we, again, maintain our quality and our integrity of our product. I hope that answers that question.
Awesome. Thank you. And then does the company offer any apprenticeship programs or internships for high school students?
Currently, we do not for high school students. Unfortunately, as you guys know, being 18 is a requirement. We have not delved into high school students who are 18 yet that are in their senior year that may have an interest. It's something we've talked about. We do have internships for at the college level right now. We've been doing that for probably close to 7 or 8 years. In fact, several of our interns that start here have come in through our industrial engineering internship program through UCF, and we've hired several of them. One of them actually, again, is a success story. He was one of my interns when I was the upholstery manager, and he graduated with his industrial engineering degree. We hired him on. He has since moved on to our materials manager. So he currently is running all of our supply chain, our service part. So that's, again, another success story.
On that track, can you speak again to the entry-level careers that are available right after high school? And do you train and promote from within?
Absolutely. So for promoting within is one of our biggest goals. So every time we have a job come open, we post internally for it first. So what does that mean? So right now I have a supervisor position in assembly that we are trying to fill, actively looking and searching for a candidate. We posted it internally first, so we put it on our job board internally or on our website, internal intranet, so that employees can see that and apply for that. As I mentioned so we'll back up. So that's an example where we're at today. So another example would be, so if you came in out of high school and you wanted to get a job with us, obviously you can apply, and we obviously we realize that with the job force the way it is today, that we've invested in training employees. So if you have no experience but you have the right attitude and you want to come to work every day and you want to learn something, we'll bring you in, we'll hire you into a position, and we will train you. So for example, we have what we call our patch and polish training program. They're the folks that you saw in the video that are shining and buffing the boat, making it look really pretty. We bring them in, we train them, we put them through a several week training course. I think it's 5 to 6 weeks, where they actually go through the process of working with a trainer. They learn how to basically to do that job from scratch. We expect them to not know anything, and we train them. And we have similar training programs in all of our other departments as well. So like in gel coat, you may start out taping the boat, which you saw in the very beginning of the video, where the person is taping the lines on the hull, the green hull that you saw in the video, and then you work your way up to actually spraying gel coat. Same thing goes for our sewing department. Same thing goes for our assembly line. We'll match you up with an employee that's a trainer, and they'll work with you till you can work on your own.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, no bias on this one, Chris. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how good is the customer service?
So we actually, it's funny you guys asked that question. We actually survey our customers and our dealers yearly and regularly. So when you purchase a product and you go through that process of not only working with your dealer, but selecting the options that you want. And then you move on and you actually receive your boat. And then you're taught how to use your boat from your dealer. And then they do a service follow-up. So I would say our service is world class. Where you put that on the scale is kind of up to the customer. I would say we get very high ratings, and I would put us more in the 8, 9, 10 range. We get a lot of good feedback. We have 99% feedback from our customers. Of course, there are areas for opportunity. You know, things break, it happens. But you know what? We again, back to our customer service, we'll address it and fix it, and ultimately make our customer experience a good one. That's our goal.
Thank you.
Yep.
We have a question from one student. You mentioned drawing and designing on the computer. What are the requirements for those positions?
So most of the positions there could either be, you know, depending on what you're learning in high school or technical school. We typically use a couple different programs. So we use what we call our designers use a program called Rhino. It's a pretty flexible drawing package that allows them to create their designs and get them done quickly. Our engineering department uses SolidWorks. So we use SolidWorks to do a lot of different things, build out our product in a CAD format, and then obviously translates that over to parts and drawings that go to our vendors. So I would say if you know Rhino or you know SolidWorks, those are two things that I would say really would help with the qualifications to get a job. On the production side, we have individuals that are familiar with, if you're familiar with AutoCAD. I know it's a pretty basic and standard drawing package, but even so, we need that for plant layouts, for all of the product that's cut on our computer numerically controlled equipment. It has to be done in what we call a two-dimensional CAD file. So it's done in AutoCAD. So having a background or experience in one of those or something similar, and one of the things that I'll stress, and I tell students and even job applicants, transferable skills. Well, what does that mean? So maybe you've not worked in AutoCAD, but you worked in a similar two-dimensional program. A lot of those programs are very similar. Yes, you got to learn a couple different commands here or there. The graphical user interface is different. But for the most part, if you have a transferable skill, we can teach you what you need to know for our particular production process. So I would say, you know, if you have an interest and you have some knowledge in some basic CAD programs or SolidWorks or Rhino, those would be qualifications that we would look for if you were interested in getting into one of those positions.
That's great. And like you mentioned, those are skills that you can learn that I think some of you are learning already in high school, and that our technical colleges that are local, Valencia College, Orange Technical College, and Lake Technical College, offer courses and certifications in those. So that's a really easy way to get your foot in the door in some of those cool career opportunities, if that's something that interests you. So you can look into those. Another question.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
That's okay. I saw another question come up about hours, and you mentioned that you guys are on a 4-10 work schedule. So are all employees on that 4-10, or are there overtime opportunities in the production? Do they work weekend hours? What are your hours like?
Let me address it. So most of our professionals, so the office staff, our engineers, most of the professional positions work a regular 5-day work day. The most of the office hours are 8 to 5. For the majority of our professional jobs. Our production managers, for example, they work a job shift that mimics their production team. So our assembly manager, for example, he works 5:30 till 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. That is our set schedule right now. And I think part of it is just the economic market that we're in. We actually have more boats and orders than we can build in our weekly schedule. So we are working overtime right now on Fridays. So like today, we are building boats today. We're building a half a production day. So we're building 7 boats today instead of 13. That way our employees do get some overtime. but they also get out at a decent hour so that they have a good work-life balance. Most employees we find don't mind working overtime, working on a 410 schedule, because it still gives them their Friday afternoons to do, errands or doctor's appointments, get to the bank, just life things, and then it gives them the weekend. Very rarely do we work a Saturday, and we never work a Sunday. That's part of our culture, being a Christian and a faith-based company. Sundays is not a work day. We do occasionally, as I mentioned there a minute ago, a Saturday. So, for example, we had an issue earlier this year where our power went down due to a storm. We had to shut production down on a Wednesday. We ended up shifting production then and worked Thursday, Friday, and we worked part of Saturday. But it's very rare. We really try to give people a work-life balance. We knew that's something that people really value, not only in a company, but to make sure that they're happy as well.
That's great. And I think we're getting close to the end here. So we have one last final question. And Chris, seems like you're very happy and you've been with Nautique for a while. They're asking what it's like to work there. Do you think this, again, in your experience, do you have typically very happy and satisfied employees?
Yes, I would say, most people that come here and stay here, really do enjoy what they do. And I know that sounds like, I'm biased, of course, I work here. But one of the things that I would say is I find is people like our company really for a couple of different reasons. One, they like the culture. And I can't stress that enough. As I go back to, our identity pyramid, which I started out with, people, performance, and philanthropy. People want to feel engaged and they want to feel like they belong. People want to also be challenged. I mean, part of having a job is feeling good and having pride in what you do. So having a good performance system definitely is something that they want to be challenged. And then philanthropy, you want to give back. There's a higher power, higher purpose in life than just earning a paycheck and going home. I mean, we give back, and there's something to be said about that. So I say our culture is probably our number one thing. The other thing I would say is a lot of employees that come here in our engineering, design, production, leadership positions love our product. They've grown up around boats. They've grown up using our product. So they're really passionate about what they do. And one of the things that I would say, and I would stress this to anybody out there, and it really kind of speaks to me, is find something that you like and an industry that you enjoy, and it doesn't feel like work. If you really can find that intersection of something that you enjoy doing, can get paid to do, and really are impassioned about the product or the company, it definitely makes a huge difference. And I can't stress that enough. So overall, I would say most of our employees are happy with what they do here.
Well, I admit I get a little jealous from time to time when I hear you talk about Nautique, because it does sound like it's such a great culture over there. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. I think we have classrooms that are ready to switch. So I want to just thank you, Chris, very much for your time today, for taking questions and for really digging in deep to let our students know the types of careers and opportunities available at Nautique Boat Company. We very much appreciate you taking the time to do this. And again, if you students have more questions, you saw that there was the contact information. You can go onto Nautique's website to learn about careers and recruiting opportunities. And you can always reach out to MACF here, and we'd be happy to put you in contact with those. And our website is macf.biz. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Chris, thank you again for your time.
Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you guys taking the time today to learn more about us. And thank you, MACF, for helping put this on.
Absolutely. And with that, everybody enjoy and have a great, safe Friday and weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.